Of the National Honor Society. This year's ceremony looks and feels very different than in the past, but in some ways it feels even more special. There was no way I was going to let a pandemic stop us from celebrating these students. You should be incredibly proud of the individuals you have raised. Your love, support, and guidance are major reasons for their success today. Before I begin, it would be remiss if I did not take the time to thank a few individuals who allowed this ceremony to be possible and helped me execute this out of the box idea. First, thank you to Mr. Patrick Wallace, OHS Principal, and Dr. Dean Guai, Superintendent of Schools, who gave me permission to hold the event in this fashion. Next, to Mr. Jamie Sykett for providing advice as to how to run this as smoothly as possible. And finally, to Mr. Matthew Bach, who's behind the scenes making sure that this ceremony appears in your house through WBUC TV. I feel very lucky to work with such selfless individuals. Every year, this induction ceremony is one of the highlights of my year. And as I just mentioned, this year may be even more special. Planning this has been a bright spot during a challenging time. Getting the opportunity to serve as the NHS advisor continues to be one of the best parts of my teaching career, and I am excited to welcome this new group of inductees to our prestigious organization. In fact, this is the largest group of inductees in a great number of years. Although I know many of these students because I served as their ninth grade history teacher, I feel privileged to see them outside of the classroom and develop as leaders within Oswego High School and in the Oswego community. I would like to thank the NHS officers that joined me today: Julia, Molly, Roma, Katie, and Bella. I am in awe of your dedication to this school and to the NHS. Our club has been lucky to have your leadership throughout the entire school year, but especially in planning this ceremony. You are facing a great hardship right now in missing out on many milestones you have been working 13 years to reach. Yet you still found time to think about your peers and make sure that they get to be honored. Your efforts to execute this ceremony speaks volumes about your character. It has been a privilege to watch you grow as leaders this year, and I know that you are going to accomplish great things. I cannot believe that the 5 girls I met as nervous 14-year-olds in pre-AP World History are now the young ladies who are about to graduate and conquer the world. Next year's officers have big shoes to fill. This year as advisor of the NHS has surpassed my expectations and has shown me the true excellence of students here at OHS. I'm not only proud of our 44 new members being inducted today, but also of our current juniors and graduating senior members who make up the Owl's Head chapter of the National Honor Society at Oswego High School. This year's society is comprised of 49 of the best and brightest Oswego High School has to offer. Just as impressive as their scholarship, character, and leadership is their service to this school and this community. Though the treasurer of NHS, Bella Herrera, will speak about service a little later, I'd like to brag about the Oswego chapter of the NHS for a minute in hopes of challenging our new inductees to match or exceed these efforts in the future. As a group, our chapter has donated hundreds of dollars from our treasury this year to local causes and held fundraisers and campaigns to benefit a variety of groups, including the Human Concerns Center Food Pantry of Oswego, the Garrett Dunsmore Foundation, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital through our No Shave November fundraiser, and letter writing campaign, where to date, Oswego High School has raised over $55,000. And most recently, and in my opinion, most importantly, throughout this time of quarantine, members have been writing letters and sending videos to those living in long-term healthcare facilities and senior living centers right here in Oswego. All of this group generosity is in addition to NHS members' involvement as volunteers at everything from youth sports tournaments to camp counselors, from guides at OHS freshman orientation to overseas mission work, and much, much more. So, to today's inductees, congratulations. You have been accepted into an extraordinary group of your peers. Our chapter, our school, and our community need compassionate leaders and dedicated scholars more than ever. I know many of you are competitive by nature, so accept this challenge. Continue to make this organization, the Oswego High School chapter of the National Honor Society, much more than just something that will look good on your college applications. I will now turn tonight's program over to the co-presidents of the Owl's Head chapter of the National Honor Society, Julia Roman and Molly Fitzgibbons.
My name is Julia Roman.
And my name is Molly Fitzgibbons.
We are the co-presidents of the National Honor Society here at the Oswego High School. We would like to extend a warm welcome to Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dean Guai, Principal Mr. Patrick Wallace, and members of the Board of Education, members of Oswego City School District faculty, staff, and administration, honored guests, and family and friends of the 2020 inductees. Although we wish that we were all together as planned in the OHS Theater, we appreciate you tuning in from your homes.
Selection into this organization is not merely based on grades, but on 4 pillars that are illustrated on your program: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. Today, along with our fellow officers, we will explain the symbolism of 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. We will be reading about leadership. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interests of others.
A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed and is thus a substantive charge to each of our members and to the candidates. And now Secretary Katie Fierro will be reading about character.
Character is the essence of each person. It is character that distinguishes one person from another. Character is the foundation upon which all other things in life are built. It consists of one's morals, values, and integrity. It gives a person individuality and personality. Character is not only what a person shows on the outside, but more importantly, what is contained inside. It allows someone to make difficult choices and at the same time remain confident in those choices. A strong character will guide a person through uncertainty and confusion. It cannot be learned or taught, but must be developed and grow inside. It is the product of constant actions and daily striving to make the right choice. Without character, no one can respect oneself or hope to earn the respect of others. By demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, we hope to prove, by example, that we value character. And now, NHS Vice President Roma Kwaja will be reading about scholarship.
Scholarship means a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and studying, realizing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for education ends only with life. Knowledge is a great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired only through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, and the light which illuminates the future. Each candidate has the charge to continually expand his or her world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. Our treasurer, Bella Herrera, will be reading about service.
My office is service. Service can be expressed in various ways. Our advisor named many of our service projects earlier, but basically, in a routine of day's events, many opportunities arise for us to help others. Willingness to work without monetary compensation or without recognition for the benefit of those in need is the quality we seek when volunteering our time and abilities in hopes of creating a better tomorrow. It now gives us great pleasure to introduce the 2020 National Honor Society inductees. During the traditional ceremony, as each member's name is called, he or she would sign the official register, committing to the 4 pillars of NHS. Instead, students signed their pledges at home and sent them to the chapter advisor. We will now honor each inductee by reading their name. You will now see the name and photo of each inductee.
Marcus Baker. Emric Benedicto. Cordelia Brown. Lucas Haiti. Catherine Canales Reyes. Joshua Chun. Mary Kate Clunan. Olivia Day. Sydney Delap. Joseph Del Conte. Zachary DeMont. Shannon Doyle. Dylan Dunsmore. Craig Dykus. Kyle Familo. Hallie Phantom. Caitlin Breath. Erica Green. Chelsea Gunther. John Hall. Zachary Kinney Steinberg. Dahlia Kinsizer. Morgan Cruel. Thomas May. Iris McDonnell. Zachary Metot. Julia Murray. Patrick Murray. Caitlin Nettles. Fee Nguyen. Preston Norfleet. John O'Leary. Aiden Robbins. Stephen Saltalamacchia. Jacob Slajona. Grace Stevens. Henry Sweeney. Brennan Tynan. Allison Carell. Mallory Upcraft. Madeline Vashaw. Kelsey Watts. Brenna Williams. Grace Wing.
And now I will read the pledge that the newest members of the NHS chapter signed and promised to uphold. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands, and will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals the ideals of my school and of my life. I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing, to endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader, to give of myself freely in service to others, and to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character. In so doing, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. I pledge myself always to seek the light of truth, to hold scholarly habits, to engage in worthy service, and to lead forward in all things that shall advance the welfare of the school.
I now present to you the new members of the Owl's Head chapter of the National Honor Society. I would now like to present the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dean Giui.
Good evening, parents, students, other guests, and in particular, our new Owl's Head chapter of the National Honor Society candidates. A special thank you certainly to Mrs. Kaylee Morris, faculty advisor to this great student organization. I can't think of a better group to advise at the Oswego High School than this one. As Kaylee has said, and our eloquent student leaders, Julia and Molly, Katie, Ruma, and Bella have outlined, this organization embodies 4 pillars that are outlined in your programs and described for you here tonight. Scholarship, leadership, character, and service are attributes that we would like to see all students demonstrate, but we know for sure that the students honored here tonight truly exhibit those. I know so many of the inductees here tonight, and I'm confident that these pillars will live on long and strong at the Oswego High School under their leadership and example. A great team of international research scholars, James Zis and Barry Posner, developed a framework of leadership that has been outlined in many of their books across the world, including The Leadership Challenge, Credibility, and A Leader's Legacy. Similar to Owl's Head pillars, their work lays a theoretical framework for many researchers and practitioners alike. In fact, their work laid the theoretical framework for my own doctoral research in leadership. They outline 5 practices that all great leaders possess. These practices can guide your leadership too as you move through your life and your careers in simple but poignant ways, and I see it in each of you now. Model the way means be a positive example for those around you, including friends and eventually coworkers. Inspire a shared vision means using your knowledge and influence to inspire those around you with your thoughts and actions to work together positively toward a common goal. Challenge the process talks about not accepting the status quo and imagining new and better ways, like we've done tonight. Enable others to act suggests that power of shared leadership and creativity is important. And finally, but most important, encourage the heart, which punctuates the power of kindness, compassion, and the importance of recognizing the accomplishments of others, however great or small. These leadership practices need to be applied now and by everyone as we navigate these challenging times. I'm confident that those students presenting and being inducted tonight will apply these and other leadership attributes in school and throughout your lives. Remember that you will be remembered for the words you use, the actions you take, the contributions you make, and how you treat others. Thank you for inviting me, and congratulations to our students, their teachers, and their parents.
Thanks, Dr. Giui. I would now like to introduce the principal of Oswego High School, Mr. Patrick Wallace.
Good evening and congratulations. Congratulations, students, for achieving this high honor. Congratulations, families and friends, for supporting, encouraging, and believing in these amazing young people. Congratulations, teachers, for the work you do in inspiring students and instilling the importance of education. And congratulations to the Oswego community. You have been the community in which the seeds of achievement were planted and cultivated. You are the beneficiary of the amazing power of their scholarship, leadership, service, and character. We come together to learn each day. While this year, what that looks like has changed, what has not changed is the opportunity to learn and grow. One day, for each of you, that will end. You will one day graduate from high school. What you have learned, experienced, and achieved in your high school career will always be with you. You will draw on it without even knowing as you navigate the world outside of high school. You will go out into the world and create your future. Every day, I encounter each of you in the halls, classrooms, cafeterias, school events, community events, and more recently through technology connections. I'm awed not only by what you achieve on a daily basis, but the impact you are able to have on those around you. I see the joy and the pride that your families, friends, teachers, and community feel when you do your best. As I speak to you today, I know your faces and ideals carry the breadth of your experiences, the heartache of your failures, and the pride that comes with your successes. All those things are an important part of who you are and how you will go forward. You will each continue to make a difference here at Oswego High School. You will continue to provide a positive role model for the school community. Challenge yourself daily and do so because it is the fabric of who you are as a person. You see that your hard work can make a difference not only in your life, but in the lives of others. You inspire. You achieve. You believe. Not only in yourself, but also in others. Success is what you strive for. It is important to appreciate the role others will play in achieving your goals and becoming successful in what you choose to do. We cannot succeed alone. Many of the people that will play a big part of your success will play minor roles. Many you are not even aware of. Be ever cognizant of the presence of others and their importance in your lives and the importance of you in theirs. Make who you are to be part of what you want to become. Congratulations to all.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. This concludes the 2020 Owl's Head chapter of the National Honor Society induction ceremony. The officers would like to extend our sincere gratitude to our guest speakers, Superintendent Dr. Guai and Principal Wallace, for participating in today's ceremony. We would also like to thank you, all of the families, friends, current National Honor Society members, and teachers of this year's inductees for tuning in to witness this ceremony. Also, a special thanks to Mr. Matthew Bach and Mr. Jamie Sykett, who made this ceremony possible, and Mrs. Kathy Parker for printing the certificates and programs you received in the mail. Finally, to our advisor, Mrs. Morse, for all of her hard work and dedication that went into today's ceremony and our meetings throughout the year. We wish you happiness and health. Good night.